Hey guys, what's up? I'm coming with a new video today per request. Someone requested it, so I'm gonna just follow up with the video. It's kind of gonna go over that gun I restored and like the steps that I took to do it. I don't have that exact gun because I did it for a friend, so he has it. But I do have another gun that I completed using the same exact techniques, like through and through, same stuff that I can show you examples on. The stock. I started with the stock. I sanded it down with up to 220, and it wasn't that bad. Like most of the clear coat, I shouldn't say clear coat, but the finish on the stock had been like kind of baked off of it from sitting. It was like gone. So I finished sanding the stock with 220 just lightly by hand, nothing crazy aggressive or anything that you're gonna like miss shaping the wood or anything. Just get it all back down to bare wood, pretty much, and make it look uniform and nice. And so the stain that I used on it is right here. It's Minwax wood finish. It's literally called Gunstock 231, if you can see that. So that's the stain that I used. I put, I think, 2 coats on that gun. You can put as many coats on it as you want. I just use a rag and with my fingers put it on, depending on how dark you'd like it. It's up to you. You can mess around with it, play around with colors and stuff, or how many coats you want to put on, whatever. I was fairly new to it, so it's kind of different wood's going to turn different colors and stuff, and it's going to give you different results. So that would also be something to keep in mind. So we got through that, and then I used True Oil on the stock right here, Birchwood Casey's True Oil. This stuff's kind of expensive. Here it is. You can hand apply this stuff just with your fingers, multiple coats, but we'll get into that a little bit more. And then the bluing I used again was just Birchwood Casey's Super Blue. It's a cold blue. Wear gloves when you put this on. We'll get into that in a minute too. So those are pretty much the products I used on the whole gun for bluing the barrel and the action receiver and stuff. There was one thing, the trigger guard and the sight that I had painted. I just used Rust-Oleum, a wood and plastic paint, and I believe the sight was aluminum, so I used a metal paint on that. Just a gloss black paint. I sprayed it. They turned out pretty decent. Pretty much, I don't know what else you'd really do with those other than paint them. So I'm reading off a script here so I just don't forget anything and I get everything right. So the stock, after I stained it with a wood stain, I would apply True Oil to it. So a coat at a time. I think I applied up to like 5 coats. You can go however many coats you want. There's a lot of guys that go more. So pretty much you can apply this, like I said, with your fingers. You just shake it up real good. You can just dip your fingers in it. Or what I do is I put it in another little cup and dip out of that cup so you're not like contaminating the whole bottle of True Oil with sawdust, other stuff. You just contaminate that little bit that you dumped into the cup. A little bit goes a long way also. You just kind of hand rub it into the stock with your fingers, like, and in between coats. So I would let it dry at least a day, and then I'd come back over it with steel wool, or I'd use like 1,000 grit sandpaper to 1,500. So I'd use this black sandpaper here. This is wet sandpaper. This is 2,000, for example. 3M makes it. It keeps the dust down. I just wet sanded everything and just soak it in a little cup or whatever. You got a little tub or something. This is probably all the bigger you need it. Just gently sand it. Like to get all the dirt and maybe you'll run out or whatever. And then I have from Amazon, I just bought, I think there's like 25 pieces in here. You can buy a whole thing of different wet sandpaper for like 25 bucks. So there's anywhere from 1,000 grit in here up to 5,000. So they're just little discs. They can go on a DA or you can use them by hand. So that is also nice to have because it's way cheaper than a 3M, because I think like that the 3M Trizac stuff's real expensive. And then of course this isn't super expensive, but you can use this too. So after you go do that, you can, after every coat you want to sand it down. This is just what I did. I sanded it all down with 1,000 to 5,000 grit. You can use 1,000 or you could use 5,000, anywhere in between, whatever you want, just to get the dirt and stuff out the runs to make it nice. The last coat, after it was dry, I let it sit like a week and I sanded it with 5,000 grit. And I used a white scuff pad like this. And believe it or not, I polished it with Wizards Turbo Cut for car finishes. It's a very aggressive buffing compound. It will take out up to a 1,200 grit scratch. So I literally like polished the stock out with that. There was one hole in the stock where he had a sling swivel and it wasn't in the center, so I took a little wood putty and filled it in and stained over that first, but you couldn't really tell where it was at. So this gun here, I did the same exact procedures on the stock and everything. Same stain, same true oil finish on it. If you can see it real good, I even did the ramrod. I mean, the ramrod's seen a little bit of use now, so it's not as shiny. You know, it's all corroded. I mean, I guess I could have cleaned this gun up a little bit. It's getting a little dirty, but I used the same procedures on it, even the barrel, as I did that Model 25 Marlin, or I'm sorry, it was a Glenfield Model 25 Marlin. So I used the same procedures on this whole gun. The barrel, it depends on how bad it's rusted. Like, is it pitted? Is it just kind of surface rust? Is it really bad surface rust? So in this case, it didn't have any surface, or it didn't have any pitting in it. So we were able to just sand it. I started with 80 grit on the steel. And then I worked my way up to 400 grit. So I went 80, 180, like 240, 320, and then 400 on the barrel to just get it all smooth, nice and smoothed out, get all the rust gone. And I mean, it came out pretty good. If you need to first, like, wire wheel it real good, but like with like a light wire wheel, you don't want to be too aggressive because it'll start leaving marks in the steel. So I blued it, like I said, with this Birchwood Casey Cold Blue. But I actually, I did like a trick of my own. Like, I kind of like threw my own like technique in there. I was trying to like experiment with it. So like, I'd heat the barrel up first using real hot water in my sink downstairs. So I'd soak the whole barrel, get it with like really hot water. Like, probably too hot, you shouldn't touch it. So I had gloves on. And I got it real warm, and then I take it back, wipe it off real quick so the barrel's real warm, and then I take cotton flats, if you know what that is, your wives probably have them. They're like a cotton swab, but, well, not a cotton swab, like a cotton ball, but flat. So I'd use those because those were really nice size, and you just like take this and turn it over, get a little bit on there, and just wipe the barrel long ways with it. Like, keep wiping it, and then get another go and keep wiping it. And then I'd let that dry for like a minute, wipe it off again with a paper towel, take it back over to the sink, rinse it all off again, get it warm again with hot water, and just repeat the process again and again and again and again until you achieved your desired darkness of the barrel or whatever you're looking for. You can even touch up spots with that or whatever you want to do. So after I was done, it was like very streaky. So I took this is double aught, but you can use triple, quadruple aught, whatever you want to use. But I would recommend below double aught steel wool. And I took it and lightly polished the barrel after I blued it to get those streaks out of it. Just almost polished it on the barrel. And it took the streaks right out, and it was a nice uniform look. Kind of wanted to just make a short video and kind of go over what I did. If you guys want to see, I'll add a clip in of me doing the Flintlock. Alright guys, so I'm down here sanding this stock after my final coat of true oil. I got about probably 6 coats on, honestly. Sanding it out with 2,000 grit. As you can see, it needs a little bit more here. I'm just blocking it out with this little tiny block. 1,500 is too much. It goes too quick and it'll cut through it. I let it dry about a week and a half for the final coat. I'm going to sand the whole thing down like that. Get all these runs out of it and stuff. And it's all going to look real smooth. And then I'm going to give it a light polish. I might even kind of leave it like this, but I'm going to finish with, I think, 5,000. Right now I'm using 2,000. See how I need to take more off? Just working a small area at a time. That's what is going on. but this looks pretty good up here. It's just gonna take forever. So if you guys want to see more, next gun I do, I'll make a full video on it. So just put it in the comment section below. Thanks again, guys, for watching.